It's Halloween night. All the creeps and scares are upon us now. And yet, I have more stories to tell. I will warn you, these are the scariest ones I've ever told. This first tale was told to me by a long-dead acquaintance named James. Once, I wanted to play Mario, but I didn't have Nintendo for it, and I was at a flea market. This old man I saw had Mario and an NES, but the label was not there. Also, the man said it was owned by a dead kid named Jim. I said, whatever, because I was eager to play Mario on my new NES. I plugged it in, and everything seemed normal. I played World 1-1 and did it. Then, I tried the old warp pipe trick, and when I got to the pipes, instead of the usual text that said, "Welcome to the warp zone," it said, "Welcome to the scary hell place." I thought that was weird. But then I said, whatever, and used the farthest pipe. The intro screen showed the words, "Death World 666. The graphics seemed off, and it sounded like screams happened from the game. It was super scary. But I wasn't scared, and I kept playing. After a while, I hit a place that was impossible to pass because of spikes, so I had to die. I kept trying until my lives were at 0. I thought it was game over, but Mario came back, and this time it looked like his face was bloody. As I started playing the level, it turned to a hidden cloud level, and it looked like Mario had angel wings. A spooky digital voice came out of the Nintendo that sounded like it said, "No hope." As I was about to grab a mushroom, the screen went black. I reset the NES, and the game came up. This time, the title screen was different, and Mario's face was bloody. It scared me so much that I reset it again. As it came on, the digital voice said, "You can't run from the funk." The screen was hyper-realistic, and it showed Mario again, only this time his face was me and my family's face, and we were skeletons. It was so realistic, I couldn't believe it. I was compelled to try the game again, and this time I started it. As the first Goomba walked toward Mario, Mario turned toward the screen and started screaming, "No mas! No mas!" It sounded like high-quality CD audio. And also blast processing. I screamed and turned off the game. I put it away. Later that week, I noticed my family acting distantly. I decided to research Mario games, and I found out that Mario was in a secret game that was only released in 2 arcades on Friday the 13th on June the 6th, 1997. It seemed weird, so I started playing video games again. I decided to put in the Mario game again. I loaded it up, and I saw my save file. I clicked it, and Mario said, "Oh, why are you no stop playing my game?" I didn't take his warning, and I played anyway. I got up to Bowser, and I won, but when I got to Peach, there was Toad there instead, and he said, "Peach is dead!" Then a ghost face came up and had a lady's face, and Princess Peach is a lady. I reset the game for the last time. I opened up my save, and it changed from my name. It said, "Jim died, bro!" Then my mom walked in, and she screamed. I was dead the whole time, and guess what? My name was Jim! So, anyway, I don't know if any of you guys have experienced anything like that, Might have just been a bad dream, and anyway, my mom sold the cartridge at a yard sale, so I don't have any more. But you should believe, because it's true. So I guess we can learn. If you ever find a haunted cartridge, don't even try. Nuh-uh, don't even try. My next tale is one of caution, one of pure mystery. I dare say it will make you think twice about that date night. So, with honey, and you're making out when the phone rings. Answer it, and the Vias is, what are doing with my daughter? Tell girl, and she say, my dad is dead. Then who was phone? If you'd like my view of it, we're missing some information. That was most likely her mom. Okay, now that we've gotten a bit more settled in, I'd like to now tell a classic, told and retold over the years, but almost never as scary as this. Man and girl go out to drive under moonlight. They stop at a side of road. He turned to his girl and say, "Baby, I love you very much." "What is it, honey?" "Our car is broken down. I think the engine is broken. I'll walk and get some more fuel." "Okay, I'll stay here and look after our stereo. They have a news report of stereos being stolen." "Good idea. Keep the doors locked no matter what. I love you, sweaty." So the guy left to get full for the car. After 2 hours, the girls say, "Where's my baby? We're supposed to be back by now." Then the girl hear, not there, but hear, a scratching sound and the voice say, "Let me in." The girl doesn't do it, and then after a while, she goes to sleep. The next morning, she wakes up and finds her boyfriend still not there. She gets out to check, and man, door, hand, hook, car, door. Is that too scary? I apologize, and yet I don't. You knew what you signed up for when you opened this video. And now, I will tell you all about a ritual. One that can be described as, well, fresh. It's no Bloody Mary, that much I can tell you. Somewhere in West Philadelphia, you will find an old basketball court with a single ball lying in the middle. Pick it up and start shooting hoops. After a while, a small group of hooligans will approach you and challenge you to a fight, which you must accept. After the fight, you must go home and relay the events to your mother. She will then inform you that you have an aunt and uncle living in one of the districts of Los Angeles, and out of fear, she will send you to live there for an indefinite period of time. With your bags packed, go to the street corner and whistle for a cab. The cab that will pull up will bear the word "fresh" on the license plate, and upon closer inspection, novelty fuzzy dice will hang in the mirror. Although you will suddenly realize that cabs like these are extremely hard to find, do not bear any thought to it. At this point, you must point out in front of the car and say, "Yo Holmes to Bel Air." You will stop in front of a mansion, and it will be sometime between 7 and 8 o'clock, even though it will feel like you've been traveling mere seconds. Get your luggage out and say, "Yo Holmes, smell ya later," but do not turn back to face the cabbie. walk up to the door, look over your shoulder once, and then knock on the door 3 times. If you follow these instructions, your life will get turned upside down. Why are you laughing? Is that ritual not scary enough for you? Well then, buckle up, as I'll tell you one more story, one about a beloved video game. You will never look at it the same way again. John Freeman, who is Gordon Freeman's brother, was one day in an office typing on a computer. He got an email from his brother that said that aliens and monsters were attacking his place and asked him for help, so he went. John Freeman got his computer shut down and went on the platform to go up to the roof of the building, where he left his motorcycle and normal people close, not far, but close, because he was in his office lab coat. John Freeman got on his motorcycle without an E and said, "It's time for me to live up to my family name and face full life consequences." So he had to go. John Freeman ramped off a building and did a backflip and landed. He kept driving down the road and made sure there was no zombies around because he didn't have weapon. The countrysides were nice, and the plants were singing, and the birds and the sun was almost down from the top of the sky. The mood was set for John Freeman's quest to help his brother where he was. John Freeman looked around the countryside and said, "It's a good day to do what has to be done by me and help my brother to defeat the enemies." John Freeman was late, so he had to drive really fast. A cop car was hidden nearby, so when John Freeman went by, the cops came and wanted to give him a ticket. Here, John Freeman saw the first monster because the cop was possessed and had head crabs. "I can't give you my license, officer," John Freeman said. "Why not?" said the head crab officer back to John Freeman. "Because you are a head crab zombie." So John Freeman shot the officer in the head and drove off thinking, "My brother is in trouble there," and went faster. John Freeman had to go faster, like the speed of sound, and got there fast because Gordon needed him where he was. John Freeman looked at road signs and saw Ravenholm with someone's writing under it saying, "You shouldn't come here." So John Freeman almost turned around, but heard screaming like Gordon, so he went faster again. John Freeman drove in and did another flip and jumped off his motorbike, and the motorbike took out some headcrab zombies in front of John Freeman. John Freeman smiled and walked fast. John Freeman then looked on the ground and found weapon, so he picked it up and fired fast at zombie ghosts in front of a house. John Freeman said, "Zombie ghosts, leave this place." And the zombie ghost said, "But this is our house." And John Freeman felt sorry for them because they couldn't live there anymore because they were zombie ghosts. So he blew up the house and killed the zombie ghosts so they were at peace. Like one piece. Then John Freeman heard another scream from his brother, so he kept walking really faster to get where he was. Ravenholm was nothing like the countrysides. There was no bird singing, and the pants were dead, and Tay dirt was messy and bloody from head crabs. When John Freeman got to where the screaming was started from, he found his brother Gordon Freeman fighting the final boss, and Gordon said, "John Freeman, over here!" So John Freeman went there to where Gordon Freeman was fighting. John Freeman fired his bullet from Tay gun really fast, and the bullets went and shot the final boss in the eyes, and the final boss can see. Gordon Freeman said, "It's time to end this once and for all." and punched the final boss in the face, and the final boss fell. John Freeman said, "Thanks, I could help, bro." And Gordon Freeman said, "You should come here earlier next time." And they laughed. The laugh overed quickly, though, because John Freeman yelled, "Look out, bro!" and pointed up to the top of the sky. Gordon Freeman looked up and said, "No! John Freeman, run out of here as fast as you can!" And John Freeman walked real fast out. John Freeman looked back, and saw Gordon get stepped on by the next boss, and he was mad and angry. "I'll get you back, evil boss!" John Freeman yelled at the top of lungs. To be continued. Unfortunately, that about wraps up the time I have tonight. Happy Halloween. Don't get too scared. Unless, of course, I have one last story to tell. This one is guaranteed to scare your wits to death. Effective December 11, 2024. Thank you for using OpenAI. These terms of use apply to your use of ChatGPT, Dolly, and OpenAI's other services for individuals, alongside with any other associated software applications and websites, altogether services. These terms form an agreement between you and OpenAI LLC, a Delaware company,